y'all, and welcome back to my channel, Favorite with Flavor. So today I am bringing you a smothered chicken thighs recipe. Yes, honey, this dish is so delicious and so flavorful, and you know we are Favorite with Flavor. So if you guys want to see how I make this, stay tuned. So, what you're going to need for this recipe is about 8 chicken thighs with the skin on, bone in, some chili powder, herbs de Provence, smoked paprika, onion powder, garlic powder, and a little bit of Cajun seasoning, some red pepper flakes, minced garlic, onions, better than bouillon, the chicken flavor, about a cup of flour, a half a cup of heavy cream, and about a cup of water. Okay, we also will be using salt and pepper and also about 2 tablespoons of butter. So what you're seeing here, I'm just going to mix all of my seasonings minus the red pepper flakes, okay? We're going to use that later, but I'm going to put all of my seasonings in one bowl and mix it together, and then we're going to put a couple of tablespoons onto our chicken thighs and mix that up, and we'll reserve the rest of it to go into our flour, okay? Because we need to season that flour. Prior to seasoning your chicken, you want to be sure that you clean your chicken with lemon and water or lime and lemon. You can use both if you want to, but you want to make sure that you clean your chicken and then pat it dry, okay? You don't want your chicken to be watery because then the seasonings won't stick to it, okay? So here I'm just going to put a few pinches of salt onto my chicken, and then I'm going to go back in with some freshly ground black pepper. So remember the rest of the seasonings that we had left over? This is where we're going to dump those seasonings into that flour, okay? Then we're going to give that a good mix, and now our flour is seasoned, and now we are ready to flour our chicken. Yes, okay? So now, when it comes down to flouring your chicken, there is no specific way to do this, but you do want to make sure that you shake off any excess flour that might be on. Just a little shake, okay? You're not doing a big shake, just a little shake like you just seen me do there. Just shake it a little bit to get some of that excess flour off, okay? So I have my handy dandy skillet here that is already preheated, and I'm just gonna put enough oil in the bottom of the pan just to cover the bottom, okay? And then we're gonna place our chicken thighs in skin side down, okay? Not meat side down. I always do the skin side down first and let that get a nice crust on it, okay? We are not cooking this chicken all the way through. So we are cooking it just to get a nice sear, a nice little golden brown color on the outside of the chicken, okay? It's just going to speed up the cooking process just a little bit, just like you see here, okay? Nice golden brown. So I did cook this on medium high for about 4 to 5 minutes per side, okay? Again, we are not cooking this all the way through just yet. So once you get a nice sear on both sides, you're just going to remove that chicken from the skillet. Be sure you do this in batches. You do not want to overcrowd your skillet. It is going to bring the temperature of your oil down, okay? So I did mine in 2 batches. So once you have removed the chicken, you're gonna remove some of the oil out of the bottom of the skillet. I left about a tablespoon of oil and I went in with a tablespoon of butter. And now I'm gonna saute my onions. I did do this for about 5 minutes or until they became translucent, okay? Once you get your onions to become translucent, then you're gonna go back in with your garlic, your minced garlic, okay? And be sure when you're moving your onions around that you're using your wooden spoon. I always use a wooden spoon, okay? But you're using your wooden spoon to loosen up some of those bits that's at the bottom of that skillet, okay? All of that is flavor, honey. You want all of that, okay? So just use your wooden spoon just to loosen it up a little bit. And if it's not loose enough, just add a little bit of water and it'll be okay to loosen right on up for you. So now I'm going in with my red pepper flakes. I'm going to give this a good mix. Now, the flour that we use to flour our chicken that's already seasoned, we are going to use about 2 to 3 tablespoons of flour, and we're going to put that into our onions and give that a good mix, okay? This is going to be the base for your gravy, okay? You're just going to whisk your flour around for about maybe 2 minutes, I'm going to say. You're going to cook off that flour taste, okay? You're going to keep mixing this around until you don't see any more white left, okay? Okay, so now we're going to go in with our cup of water. And should you move this around a little bit and it seems like it might be a little too thick for you, go back in with another, maybe like a half a cup or maybe a fourth a cup of water, okay? You don't want to make, you want to make sure that it's not going to be too runny. And you also want to be sure it's not going to be too thick, okay? So once you get your water in, you're going to go back in with your heavy whipping cream. So you don't have to use heavy whipping cream. You can use the condensed soup, the cream of chicken soup. But I chose to use what I had in my refrigerator today, which was some heavy whipping cream. And now I'm going to go back in with about a teaspoon of that Better Than Bouillon, the chicken flavor, okay? And let me tell you, honey, the flavor in this gravy is absolutely delicious. Okay, you have got to try this recipe. So now I'm just gonna go back in with my chicken. We're gonna get this placed in here. Okay, don't worry about the gravy looking light. As it cooks, it will start to darken up. Okay, but if you're feeling a little unsure about it, you can always add in a half a teaspoon of the browning seasoning, okay? But you shouldn't have to use that because your gravy will darken up. So once you get all your chicken in there, you're just gonna spoon the gravy on top of the chicken. You're gonna turn your heat down to a simmer, a low, maybe like you have your digits on there. You're gonna turn it down to about a 2, somewhere between a 2, 1, or a low. If your stove says simmer, put it on simmer, okay? Pop the lid on and we're going to allow this to cook for about another hour, okay? And let me tell you something, honey. Would you look at that skillet right there? Okay, look, this chicken was absolutely delicious. Okay, and I am not even bragging. I am gonna toot my own horn though. Okay, because I did that. I did that today. Okay, and you will too if you use this recipe. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with me today. If you have not already subscribed, please do. Be sure to hit that bell so you never miss a notification from me. And remember, when you are in the kitchen, you are always favored with flavor.